I'm Laurna from Korean with Love. I'm a trained carrying consultant, and in this video we're going to look at the double hammock, which is a great carry to move on to after you've mastered a ruck and you want to look at something different with maybe more coverage over baby and more layers for more support. This is a really great carry that you can use from about 6 months, depending on baby, up until preschool. I used this carry for my daughter when she was 5 and it was still lovely and supportive. Even now she's almost 7, I can still use it. So I'm going to be using the beautiful Sakai sail from the Classics collection. This goes from a lovely creamy green all the way down to a gorgeous royal blue with that gold design on the pattern. This is from the Classics collection and it is 46% organic combed cotton, 57% tencel, and it's 318 GSM. It's a lovely sort of mid-weight wrap which is already quite soft and squishy, but I'm sure it's going to soften up a lot nicer as well. So with the double hammock, baby's going on your back and I'm going to hip scoot. So I'm going to hip scoot from my right onto my back, but it doesn't matter what side you use, you will always tend to use the same side, doesn't matter. The double hammock starts on an off-centre position, so the middle marker does not go in the middle of baby's back. So we're going to create a new middle marker. So I'm going to take my current middle marker, put it in the middle of my chest, measure round to the middle of my back, pull it quite tight, and now this is your new middle marker. So I'm placing my new middle marker on my hip that baby's going to start on, taking the fabric up and over across my back, singing for me. Sing the lovely wee song. And I'm going to gather the fabric from my neck to my shoulder and let it drape down my chest. Peekaboo. Now I want my fabric to be nice and straight on my hip, so I'm going to pull the bottom round so that my new middle marker is nice and straight, and this will help with your passes and also with your tails as well. I'm straightening that up, gather it in one hand, and then I'm just going to pull the fabric over my back nice and tight to make sure there's no slack stuck back there. So make sure you've got enough space and don't get tangled with the fabric, so I'm just moving it with my foot out the way a wee bit. The tail that's coming over my shoulder, I'm going to pin that between my knees and keep that tension so you can see that's nice and tight across my body. And then I'm going to flip this part over my arm and I'm going to get my wee assistant. Come on in. You can say hiya? You can say hiya? So now I'm going to pull the fabric across his back, leading with that top hem, bring it over his shoulders. And if it doesn't stay, don't worry, you just want to check where it's going. Okay? You can hold on to it with your other hand, hold it in place, but still support baby's bum. The rest of the fabric I'm going to gather into my hand, put into his knee pit, bring it under his bum and over to that other knee pit. And what you're doing here is you're creating the seat so that you know you've got that nice deep seat before you put baby on the back. Then I'm going to gather the fabric up, diagonally up and across, so you can see that all that slack is now over into my hand. And I'm just going to scoop under his bum a wee bit to make sure that fabric's where I want it to be. So the fabric is up to the back of his neck, which is a nice safe height for his age. He's 17 months, and if he wanted his arms out, he can have his arms out if he wants. But at the moment he's quite happy. So I'm going to hold all this, making sure I've got it nice and tight. Swap hands, and then I'm going to gather the fabric from my shoulder, hold it. Sorry. Oh, you wanted an arm out. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm holding these two tails now in one hand. I'm going to scoop him onto my hip and then slide them onto my back. Thank you. I'm not a duck. And what I'm doing is I'm letting the slack move through this hand, but keeping the tension at the whole time. So onto my hip, swim my arm over to support his bum, letting the slack move, pulling that tension and sliding him round. So now he's on my back and he's pulled his arms out, which has made the fabric come down, which is fine because I can fix it. I'm going to take one tail in each hand. You're not helping today. So the tail, I'm leaning forward slightly, and you can see as I lean forward slightly, he's leaning back. So if I try and stand up, it'll make him lean in towards me. So the one from my shoulder, I'm going to pin, and then I'm going to fix this, because it's quite low on his back, and that's far too low at the moment. So I'm bringing it up. I'm going to hold his bum with one hand, bring the fabric up over my shoulder, and bring the rest up. So I'm holding his bum with one hand to keep him in place, and I'm gathering from the bottom. And I'm just taking my time to gather all that fabric up, which is now where I want it to be. I'm pinning both tails, and he's happy, he likes an arm out. So I'm just checking that that seat is nice and deep. The fabric is in to his knee pits. And this is where you want to try and stay. I know it's a natural way of thinking to lean forward because you've got a baby on your back. But I'll show you, I'm going to hold tight and I'm supporting his bum. So if I lean forward, he leans back because he thinks he's having a horsey ride. So if I stand up, he's gonna lean forward and be nice and supported. So I'm going to take one pass out and work on my tightening, because there's still, if he can lean back slightly, there's slack in there. So you can see as I pull this, he moves into me. So take your time and tighten from the top of baby's back to his bum, pulling him in nice and tight, and you can see now he's closer to my body. He's still sat in that nice, is my hair tasty? Nice deep seat. Pin this between my knees and swap. Do the same with the other side. Pulling it in tight and adjusting all that slack. So you can see it's come out of his knee pit. That's absolutely fine. I'm just going to push that knee up, pull the fabric over and bring it up over my shoulder. So it's now back in position. You'll end up with a long tail and a short tail. You're going to be working with the long tail. So I'm going to bring it under that arm, keeping the tension. If you need to, you can support baby's bum. Bring it gently under my arm, keeping that tension. Tighten up again if you need to. And I'm going to spread this across my chest, under that tail. Now once you've got it under, the friction will help to hold it, but you're still in control of holding the tension. Then I'm going to lead with the top hem. Oh! What's wrong? You okay? I'm going to take the top hem of my long tail and I'm going to pin it. I'm going to hold it in both hands on that top hem, hang up and over to my opposite shoulder. And what I'm doing here is I'm gathering up the bottom of the fabric to pull it through. And then any slack. Hold the top on one and use your elbow to pull the fabric, help that slack to move over. So I'm pushing the slack away from my body to the back where it's going. Pull that slack through, up and over that opposite shoulder. Okay? So here you can hold the fabric with your chin or your teeth, whatever you like, to keep the tension. So I'm just going to hold it gently in my teeth while I fix the bottom hem. So here, he's pushed out, pushed his knee down, I'm pushing it up, pulling that bottom hem. I'm going to guide it through. So I'm guiding it across my body to the other knee pit, pushing that knee pit up, hold the fabric in place, and guide that bottom hem under his bum. Now I'm going to gather the fabric and pull it tight. And I gather up and on my shoulder. And you can see now his wee elbow's pushed out, so I've got some slack there. So I'm going to take my time and work through that. And cheeky. I'm just pulling up a wee bit, pulling any slack over and round. So now I have two tails. They'll either be one slightly longer, one slightly shorter, or both the same if you haven't moved too much. Don't worry about too much if they're slightly one longer and one shorter. You'll still be able to do a double knot, might just slightly be to the side, which is what I'm probably going to end up with. So now, if you want to fancy it up, you can check that your pleats are all nice. To show the colour, just gather it in my hands, fixing the pleats a wee bit. I'm keeping the tension. I'm going to guide it, just like the ruck, under my arm into that knee pit, pushing it up if needed, under the bum, under the opposite leg, and then I'm going to pin it between my knees. And now with your other side, pull up a wee bit if needed, if you feel like any slack's moved and maybe baby's moved down. If you want to fix it, then go ahead and fix it. Under that arm into the knee pit, pass into the other hand, so you can push the knee pit up if needed, under the bum, under the opposite leg, and then bring round and tie in a double knot. No matter how grippy your wrap is, it's always recommended to tie the double knot, just for safety and just so it doesn't slip out the way. I'm just going to fan over, so you can see I had one tail slightly longer, so I've had to go to the side a wee bit. Personally, I prefer a wee bit to the side, but it's up to you where you tie. And as well, it'll take practice to get how you like it. Then I can check on my front, so I've got a lot of fabric gathered up here, and I'm just going to smooth it down a wee bit. There we are. You can see my shoulders are spread out well. So baby is nice and high, his face is free and clear. I can see his face, not yet. I can see his face here, and he's showing you that he can't get out. So the fabric is up his back, into the knee pits, and he's got that lovely seat spread across his back, and it's nice and comfortable on me. If you're stuck at all and you need any help, you can get in touch. Oh dear! Oh dear. You can get in touch with me at Couriering with Love on Facebook, or you can ask in Clan Oscha for any help and advice as well.